All right, super cool update here today. This is Craig Ballantyne, and I am about to announce that the Dark Side of Discipline is going to be ready really soon. That's right, we have an amazing cover. Oh, it is super cool, and we're going to help you stop chasing, suffer less, and achieve more. This is a complete 180 look at what discipline really means, and we're going to help you raise your standards in life and stop white-knuckling through life. But that is not the main focus of today's presentation. Instead, what I want to go through on our show this week are my plans for 2025. Now, the Dark Side of Discipline is a major business goal of mine in 2025, and I want to walk you through how I set my goals for the year. I know the year is already on the way, but it's not too late. It's not too late to set better goals and achieve them faster, because if you feel like you've already fallen behind, or if you never really got specific about what you want to achieve, then this episode of Early to Rise Radio is going to set you straight. It's going to be a game changer. So before Christmas, I took people through this Achieving Your Dreams step-by-step blueprint, and I want to walk through how I figure out and get everything out of my cluttered up mental attic onto paper, and then clarity about the exact steps I need to take for the next 90 days to achieve my one-year goals. So we're going to walk through this. What I usually do is I start with a State of the Union, and I always want to start with wins. I start every coaching meeting with wins. I start every business meeting with wins, because we want to celebrate no matter how tough the last week, the last month, the last year was. And so we have wins in our life and wins in our business we can share. For me, I had a huge amount of family time in 2024. I had huge mastermind growth. And then working with Daniel Woodrum, my co-author, not just on the book, but also as with him as our head of coaching at Early to Rise. Absolutely amazing. He gets coaching clients who I think aren't going to last very long because they're in a bad mindset and a bad state and bad industry, and he turns them around like nobody else can. It's absolutely amazing. Now, what's not working? We also want to think about what is not working. And for me, my profit power hour took a hit in 2024 because of my second daughter's sleep. Fortunately, she's sleeping better now, but there were days when I only had 15 minutes, and I still did it. I still worked on the most important thing, but I didn't get ahead for a couple months on some stuff as much as I'd like. I also didn't get enough one-on-one time with my wife. She's been pregnant for the last 3 years. And so that is, when you put down what's not working, you got to make a focus on changing that in the next year. Also, we didn't have a good enough speed of new customer acquisition in 2024, and even on the ascension side. So we need to improve that. Then I go into prime 5 questions. These really get your mind right. They start getting you thinking big, and also thinking about the constraints that you need to achieve your goals. And then I'm going to show you exactly what my goals are and walk you through how I break them down and reverse engineer and succeed with them. So question number 1 in the prime 5 questions is, what exactly do you want to achieve in life? And I want to be a strong, healthy, loving father of a family that takes 4 great vacations per year. I want to build generational wealth, which is a minimum of $10 million in assets, generating $1 million in passive income per year. If you can get about a 10% return is pretty high, but plus or minus. I also want to help 10,000 people become millionaires. Man, I'm stuck at getting my first 1,000 people to become millionaires, because if I create 10,000 millionaires from people who were, maybe had $10,000 or less, that's $10 billion in wealth creation, and that would make me feel great. What price are you willing to pay to achieve it? This is where the rubber meets the road, because most people have these crazy goals, but when you ask them, are you willing to pay this price? You want to win a fitness competition. Okay, are you willing to give up weekends out? Are you willing to give up movie night at the cinema, or at least go with, you can't take tuna in, but you can't eat junk food. Are you willing to give that up? No, is there a way I can do it? No, you can't. So you're not willing to pay the price to achieve it. I'm willing to do early mornings, and I'm willing to invest $25,000 for book launch coaching, which I did with Carrie Oberbrunner. Carrie Oberbrunner has been absolutely amazing in the development of my new book, and I cannot recommend this guy enough. If you want to have a best-selling book, if you want to make money with your book, he has a program that helps you make money 16 different ways. If you want good editors, if you want amazing feedback on your title and subtitle, which is so important, because most people don't read the book. 90% of people don't get past chapter 1. There's literally stats on this. And so it's important that your book is great, but if you don't have a great headline, title of the book and subtitle and a great cover, people aren't going to buy the book. Then they get on your email list, and then you can help them in a whole bunch of ways. Get them to your YouTube channel or podcast, for example. But unless they buy the book, nothing happens. And so Carrie has got me laser focused, and It's unbelievable. This cover that we've built is pretty darn cool. And it's going to get a lot of attention on Amazon where Carrie told me, like, you got to focus on the thumbnail. And I never thought of that, even though I've created multiple books. So I'm getting pumped up here. And I just worked out, so I'm a little bit short of breath. What are you not willing to do? What are you not willing to do? What constraints, what boundaries do you have to put into place? Because it's very important. If I don't know what you are not willing to do, I'm going to create a plan that's going to be too aggressive for you in some cases. And then you're not going to get the results. You're not going to do the action. And we're going to have friction in our relationship as coach and mentor. So you got to tell me what you're not willing to do. And it's okay. You have to have these boundaries. So I'm not willing to miss breakfast with my wife and kids. I'm not willing to take long or frequent work trips away from home. I will do 3 days away 3 times per year for my mastermind. And I'm trying to get the family to come with me, and I'm trying to get one of my masterminds in Vancouver every year. But that's it. Nothing else. I know guys who have taken 2-week trip when their kid was under 3 months old. Guess what? They're not with their wife anymore. Duh. So I am not willing to sacrifice that. But those boundaries are not crazy boundaries. I can still do a lot. So what do I need more time to do in my life? I do need more sleep. I'm getting about 6.75 hours of sleep right now. I need to get it to 7.5. But, that was problems with our daughter last year. She just wasn't sleeping through the night, and now she is. So I should be able to hit that. I want more time to write and hike. Live in Vancouver. It's amazing here. I want more time for meditation. I had a good meditation with Joe Dispenza this morning in one of his videos. And some days I'm just too rushed because I didn't know when my daughter was going to get up. So I had to sacrifice some meditation, push it to later. And then sometimes, it was only a few minutes I would get. And I want more time to go downtown Vancouver with Michelle. It's a great city, lots of great restaurants, lots of great activities. And I want more time to do that. I'm going to make more time to do it. Now, how much are you willing to pay to have that extra time? This is a big theme that I did last year of living like a billionaire. You can have more time if you're willing to spend $500 a week on a private chef. And private chef just means somebody who's you find on Craigslist or something to come in and do your meal prep. All the groceries, all the cooking, all your meals are done, $500. Are you willing to do that in order to get 20 hours a week back? Some of my clients are willing to do that. Are you willing to stop driving your car and start taking Uber so you can work in the back of the car instead of driving every day? Well, you might even save money if you do that with parking and auto insurance and all that stuff. So what are you willing to pay? I personally am willing to pay another $1,000 a week minimum, which is the cost of another nanny, so that we always have 2 nannies during the day so that I get my work time done. My wife gets a break to go and exercise and do some of her projects. And that way I don't have to skip meetings or not be able to do coaching calls or not be able to do my podcast tour. I work in the same room as my kids, so I see them all day long. I'm just not able to be playing with them all day long. So those are the questions you have to understand to prime yourself, because you can see where I'm going with a lot of my goals based on what's not working, what's working, and what I want. Now we move on to the level 10 mismatch. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, and you know what? I'm not going to talk too much about it other than the definition of discipline that we talk about in our Dark Side book is putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problems. And everything else that you're doing is generally a perverse form of procrastination. If you have a marriage problem, getting in a cold plunge probably doesn't help improve your marriage, unless you're doing it with your wife as a bonding activity. But if you're just doing it by yourself and you're spending 10 minutes to go to the cold plunge place, 10 minutes to do the cold plunge, and then 10 minutes to get back home, that's 30 minutes you could have spent working on your marriage. And it's a perverse form of procrastination for a lot of people. And we bust on the cold plunge thing because it really is ridiculous. Like, to think that nobody got anything done before cold plunging. Oh man, I got to get my mind right, get my cold plunge in. Without my cold plunge, I'm not resilient. Give me a break. What did people do in the 1980s? They took hot showers and got to work. So let's go. So the level 10 mismatch, we get rid of that stuff. In my business, we use something from my mentor from Vern Harnish called the Love Loathe exercise, which helps you really 80-20 your activities in your business. And 80-20 should be a principle that you truly understand. You should 80-20 everything in your life, because 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And that's going to be a theme of 2025 for me and my mastermind members. Our next event in April in Miami, April 24th and 25th, is all about the 80-20 principle applied to your productivity, your marketing, your sales, everything, your networking even, so you get more results. And the love loathe exercise contributes to that. You've put down what you love doing in your business. You put down what you loathe doing in your business. You get rid of the things you loathe doing in your business through automation, delegation, and elimination. And that allows you more time to spend doing the things you love. And when you do the things you love, you are creating magic. So now we're working our way in. What we've done here is we've gotten rid of a bunch of junk that's holding us down, right? I use this analogy a lot in my videos and in my book, even in The Dark Side of Discipline. I talk about, let's say you and I standing at the start of the Boston Marathon. I hate long running, but let's imagine you and I are both 3-hour marathoners and we're standing there. Everything else being equal, we're going to run the same race. And then some guy from Nike comes over right before the race and he walks up to you and goes, hey, buddy, come here. You wanna wear these shoes that the top marathon runners in the world are wearing? We don't sell these, but they're gonna take like 15 seconds off your marathon. They're so lightweight. And you go, yeah, I'll wear them. And then he looks at me and he goes, and I'm like super excited. I'm like, what am I gonna get? Like the world's fanciest shorts or something? And he goes, we're gonna give you a backpack with a 53-pound kettlebell. And I go, what? And he puts that on me. Now, what's gonna make a bigger difference in marathon time? The addition of a life hack like the fastest shoes in the world, or the addition of a negative vice, a ball and chain that holds you down? Well, the ball and chain is going to like put 3 hours on my marathon time. 53-pound kettlebell, it's going to kill me. And so when it comes to being successful, it's not about adding more life hacks. In fact, James Clear in Atomic Habits says, success is not about littering your life with life hacks. No, it's not. Success is about eliminating the things that destroy you. Alcohol, porn, weed, gossip, addiction to Netflix, football, whatever it is. You know that if you could just get rid of staying up an hour late, scrolling your phone so you got to bed on time, so you didn't hit snooze in the morning, so you weren't late for your work block or your gym or whatever, and you weren't rushing around hopped up on a Monster because you're so tired because you didn't sleep the night before, your life would be so much better if you just got rid of the negative. That's what's holding you back, not another life hack like a green juice or a cold plunge or the fastest shoes in the world. So that's the analogy I use all the time, and that's what we've done in the first half of this training session is we've gotten rid of the junk that's holding you back. It breaks my heart to see vices and distractions and procrastination killing people from achieving their dreams. So now we flip it and we start really getting into goal setting. We start at a high level, 30,000 foot level, and we go, what are the greatest accomplishments you want to achieve in the next 10 years for each of your top values in life? For me, I want to have hours of fun every day with Michelle, Isabella, Sophia, Jack, and Daisy the dog. So Isabella, Sophia, and Jack, we have 3 coolest kids, man. They're so awesome. And today, at 9 o'clock, I did a work block. And then at 9 o'clock, we got ready. We went to a dance class for Isabella, who's almost 3 years old. And it was goofy and she hardly did anything. She actually sat on her knees for the first bit. So like Michelle and I are dancing along with these kids. And Isabella's just sitting there on her knees she's tapping her finger on her mouth. And my wife goes, Isabella, are you going to come and dance? She goes, I'm thinking. And Michelle looked at me and goes, she's just like you. You're so skeptical. So Isabel is so skeptical. By the end, it was the greatest thing in the world. And she was dancing more than anybody else in the room. But she's so hilariously skeptical. And she gets that from me. But that's honestly, just as a side note, my skepticism has made me rich because I don't believe anything that anybody tells me. And so when people told me you got to do hours of cardio to lose weight, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then I created turbulence training and got rich from that. And then when somebody said, you got to get up in the morning and do a 3-hour morning routine before, to get your mind right, I was like, that's so stupid. That doesn't make any sense. And so I created the perfect day formula and the millionaire morning routine, made millions off that. And now the dark side of discipline, people are saying you got to do cold plunges, you got to do hard things, you got to do this, that, and the other stuff. And it's like, well, take a look at the most successful people in the world. That's not exactly, they didn't do any of those things. Like, I'm pretty sure that the top 10 richest people in the world do not cold plunge. And I even saw something the other day on Instagram that your business success is correlated with how physically fit you are. And that's not true either. Take a look at the top 50 billionaires in the world. And aside from Bezos, who's on the crank and working out, like if you look at him when he was a billionaire before he got on the crank, dude's a skinny dude. He's not ripped or fit or athletic. And if you look at Zuckerberg before he got into all the bro stuff, he became a billionaire. Like, you don't get rich because you're fit. And God bless fitness people, but that's just not true. And so I'm very skeptical of things, and so is my daughter, but it serves you in some ways. So anyways, now moving on to the health aspect, amazing energy, healthy joints, perfect blood work. I don't have perfect blood work, but my naturopath says I have the blood work that's better than the 20 and 30-year-olds that he sees, which, it's a pretty low bar these days. Then on the wealth side, I want to get to $83,333 per month in passive income, which is $1 million per year. And honestly, our our monthly burn rate is a fraction of that right now. So, that'll just allow me to, give away the money and use it for other things and do all sorts of cool stuff. But it's not because I need $83,000 a month to support my lifestyle. And then experiences. Never mix breakfast with my kids. So I made them pancakes today. Basically I spent from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. with my kids. Then I worked for an hour, and then I went to dance class, and then I went to the gym, and now I'm working again. And I worked from about 3:30 till 6. So that's my life. And I want to have one family adventure every month, whether we're going to Great Wolf Lodge. And it's so funny. I post about Great Wolf Lodge on Instagram, and so many people sent me these horrible reviews and everything. I don't care if some people are like, oh yeah, it's like a combination of people who go to Chuck E. Cheese and some other thing. I'm like, those are my people, dude. Don't be so high and mighty about Great Wolf Lodge. Like, okay, if they have bed bugs, that's a problem. But just because the people are factory workers that go to Great Wolf Lodge, don't poop on my people. That's what I grew up with. So anyways, we want to do family adventures, and we're going to nice places too, not just Great Wolf Lodge. So now we move on to the Perfect Life Vision. Perfect Life Vision is a movie script for your life. And I know it's like, why are you talking about 10 years and 3 years just to get down what you're going to do in 90 days? You have to go from the high end and narrow it down, and get granular. There's a lot of big stuff you want to do, but you have to start saying no to certain things. So the Perfect Life Vision, we're going to go 3 years into the future. I want to think about where I'm going to be. For me, special time of the year is American Thanksgiving. I'm Canadian. We have a Thanksgiving, so I always have to say American Thanksgiving. And so American Thanksgiving in 2027 is going to be Thursday, November 25th. We're going to be at Whistler Mountain. My wife and I have had a ritual since we first met in 2019 of going to Whistler Mountain for American Thanksgiving and doing our vision exercise for the next year. And we're there. And then think about 3 accomplishments that you have had in the last 3 years. So you're thinking ahead into the future, and you're looking back and saying, I have accomplished these things. So we have found a 5-year home. Or even a forever home, because right now we haven't found our forever home. But we're going to have found our forever home by 2027. Big accomplishment number 2 is we built ETR Coaching to a $15 million a year coaching business. That's outside of the info products that we sell, while only having me working 30 hours per week on the business. And big accomplishment number 3 is I've installed Daniel Woodham as the CEO and built an A+ coaching team that allows me a 6-week sabbatical every year. So think about that. Now, what's the biggest obstacle in the way of me doing this? It's complacency. I've definitely got more than I ever thought I would have. And sometimes that complacency starts to creep in on me. So that's why I have to stay around people who are succeeding and get off a lonely entrepreneur island. Otherwise, I might get pulled down. What's the first step to overcoming this? Commit to never-ending personal growth. Never-ending personal growth, never-ending writing of books, all that sort of stuff. Now I want to start talking about granular. What's your specific definition of success for 2025? And for Craig Ballantyne, it is monthly date day with Michelle. It is grow my mastermind to over 50 members. We're at 33 right now. It's amazing because we've already had our first event of the year and had so many people join the program. And I want to launch my discipline book, The Dark Side, and sell 25,000 copies this year and 5,000 in the first 90 days. So we got to have a clear plan for the book launch. And the specific definition of success for my 2025 income is to get my monthly passive income from about 7 to 10K now to 30,000 per month. What is the specific definition of success for my 2025 work week is 35 hours per week and 80% of Wednesdays off. That's right. I take Wednesdays off as much as I can. That's family day. And so we have lots of kids' activities, all my doctor's appointments, or, running to the DMV or whatever I have to do. It's going to be on Wednesdays. What is the specific definition of success for your 2025 health? I want to sleep 52 hours a week. 52 hours a week. Right now, I'm probably 45 to 49. And what is the specific definition of success for your 2025 vacation? We're going on a 50th birthday trip for me to Hawaii. So when you have that specific definition of success, now we can start building specific plans to get there. So let's switch to the 1-year blueprint and tell me in a year from now, what will have happened? Describe the biggest improvements in your family or personal relationships in 1 year from now. For me, it's I ask for help faster. I talk more and open up about my stress and struggles before Michelle notices I'm off and asks me about it because she doesn't like that. Describe how your health has improved for the last year and why. So think about your health. Think about how it's going to improve in the next year because you're going to give a level 10 effort to it. I'm going to have greater resilience and muscle mass from getting extra sleep. And so the biggest change that I made since putting these worksheets together is I've stopped eating at 4:30 p.m. every day. That's crazy to most of you. You're like, 4:30? Yeah, well, listen, my kids go to bed at 6:30 and 6:45, and then last night I was lights out at 7:07. That's what time Michelle said I fell asleep. Now she stays up like another hour. she If you know my 10-3-2-1-0 formula, Michelle does the exact opposite of everything and gets a 90 on Aura, an Aura ring score of 90 by ignoring everything that she doesn't drink and she doesn't eat late, but she does actually scroll her phone in bed and still gets a 90 on her Aura ring. Sometimes she gets a 96. It's crazy. But I need to focus on getting to sleep earlier. And so the biggest thing I've done is make sure that 3 hours before bed, I stop eating. And so I have a 12-hour break between eating from 4:30 in the evening till 4:30 in the morning. And I was like, most dads, cleaning up the food that's on my kids' plates. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't feel great. I don't think it helps my sleep. So I get rid of it. So that's what I did once I realized what my goal was of getting better sleep. You eat too late, and the next thing you know, your sleep's not great. So I fixed that. The 3 biggest work accomplishments. What are the 3 biggest work accomplishments that you have had in 2025 when you're writing this from next year? For me, 50 mastermind members, 25,000 disciplined book buyers, and getting our mentorship to 1,000 members at $97 a month. We're at a couple hundred now, and so we need to get 4 times as many people in. Describe your biggest experience or adventure that you enjoyed in 2025. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Be specific. For me, it's the 50th birthday in Hawaii. Although Michelle's now looking at a trip to France in November. She really wants to go to Christmas markets. So that might be, France and then obviously Germany. So that might be bigger. I don't know. It's always an adventure around here. Then list the biggest connection you made in the last year. Dr. Peter Diamandis, the man who leads the Abundance 360 conference. Sometimes I think he's a little over the top with his abundance predictions, but it's pretty cool to have somebody who's abundant-minded and really optimistic about the future. And then what was your theme for the year that allowed you to be so successful? 2 words: move faster. When my son is crying and needs a bottle, I'm going to move faster so that, Michelle doesn't have to go and get the bottle. When an opportunity comes up in the business, I'm going to move faster on it. And so now what we do is we take everything that we've distilled down. If that's what we want to accomplish in 2025, what do we need to do in the next 90 days? And this is where we go to the classic 90-day blueprint and build that out. So in 90 days, what's your major outcome goal that you want to accomplish? Numbers-based goal. You could do this for weight loss. You could do this for dating. You could do this for money in your business. You could do this for the amount of sales you're going to make, number of new clients you're going to get. I did it around an outcome goal of 5,000 book sales in our launch. So within the first 90 days of doing this, so it's going to go to the middle of April, is I want to get 5,000 book sales. So process goal number 1 is get 200 outbound messages for bulk orders and affiliates. And I'm getting on so many podcasts right now and getting people excited about promoting it. Process goal number 2 is to design a free plus shipping book funnel and Facebook ads and launch those. And process goal number 3, where we're going to have the most initial success, is with the 7-day email launch to our list. Immediate to do: message top 10 people for bulk and affiliate JV deals, and then do 10 a day. I'm doing 10 a day right now. And I'm asking people, if you have a podcast, do you want me on it? And so on and so forth. And I've already gotten 2 big, they're not big podcasts. So they're not top 10 podcasts, but they're probably top 100 podcasts that I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't have done this major outreach. Then I need a 24-hour to meet with Daniel for the final book and the course, and I got 1 more review of the edits, and then it's pretty much done. And then it's going to be 6 weeks from today, from when it's done to getting printed and then sent out. And we're going to have it for our mastermind members and start launching it through our site. It's awesome. And then you can see it's like write the first draft of the sales copy and the upsell copy and outline the upsell course and plan with Daniel and plan the email sequence. And I need a bunch of people in my life to help me with this, just like you do. So when you create your 90-day blueprint with outcome goal and then the 3 process goals and then the immediate to do and 24-hour to do, you're also going to need people. So who are the 3 most important people you need here? I need Tim, our email copywriter, to do the launch. I need Bedros Keuilian to make some JV connections. And I need Carrie Oberbrunner, my book launch coach, to help me. And he's been helping me great. Man, huge testimonial for him. Then what are the biggest obstacles in the way of making this happen? Well, I need to sell the JVs I'm promoting it. It's always tough. They got a lot going on. I need a killer hook for the sales page, and I need a profitable upsell flow. Because if I can spend $100 a day or $500 a day on Facebook ads and make and make the same amount of money that I spent, I'll do that all day long. In 2013, we were spending $5,000 a day selling fitness programs, and we were making $5,005. I remember seeing that come in almost every day. We were just buying customers to sell them more stuff to in the future, add more value to their life. And that's how we were able to build my fitness business so big. And then we put in, what are 3 accountability numbers to hold you accountable to achieving this? For me, it's 10 reach outs per day, it's 5 JV calls per week, and it's 3 Facebook ads per week for the book funnel. And so when you build this out, this is what we do with all our coaching clients, and then we hold them accountable to it. This is how they get massive results in every area of life. And I even use this to find my wife. So if you may have seen my personal 90-day blueprint where it says 90-day outcome goal, 12 dates. I set this up in November of 2019. And the process goal number 1 is ask 3 girlfriends for intros. I have 3 friends I knew, including this one woman, Vanessa Ortali, who had a massive network of other women, smart business women. And so I was like, obvious answer is to go to Vanessa and ask for an introduction. And so long story short, eventually she introduced me to Michelle. Michelle and I hit it off. And the next thing you know is 35 days, we met in person. I flew out to Vancouver. We had a date weekend. And then I flew out again before Christmas. And then she flew to Miami after Christmas for a mastermind before COVID. And then we decided I was going to move out. And it was March 1st. And I moved out to Vancouver right at the start of COVID. Actually, an amazing year in Vancouver. It wasn't too crazy out there. So you can see that you can use this for everything in life, from finding your wife to making millions. And that's it. So that's my plans for 2025. And I'm super excited to get the book to you. I'm super excited for you to have success using this plan. And I'd love for you to become a coaching client. So if you're interested in working with our team of coaches to help you achieve your 90-day blueprint and your 1-year vision and your 3-year vision, then just comment coaching down below this video and we'll reach out to you. All right. So super excited to have shared this with you. I got really pumped up about it. I'm really pumped up about the book because everything's coming together right now. We're getting quotes from amazing people, endorsements, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. And it's going to be in your hands soon. So let's get you coaching. Drop coaching down below. And otherwise, look for another discipline video coming soon.